MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The city of Belgrade is aiming for a $49 million bond vote for a new aquatic center and walking trails. I'm Joe Leasley, and I spoke with different people in town to find out what they think. Some people are all for it, and others not so much.
You know, at what point do we say there's enough growth?
And in August of 2021, 5 patients died in the care of the state. And one of the sisters is preparing to bring a claim against Warm Springs. We'll hear her story at 6:35.
Well, happy Tuesday, Southwest Montana. It is 6:30. Chet Lehman, Jane McDonald, Matt Elwell with you here. A lovely morning out. Boy, it was windy last night playing softball.
Yeah,
challenging.
It's been a long time since I've seen my trash can knocked down.
Boy, it was just.
It just
It's
got
whipping
gusty.
out there.
Unrelenting for a while.
And it's not bad now. We do have a bit of a breeze, but temperatures are very comfortable into the 40s. And this has initiated some of that mountain snow melt, so there is the possibility of some flooding concerns that we're keeping an eye on. Not dramatic now. We don't have watches out, just some hydrologic outlooks, which basically means, hey, it might
be ready.
Melt. Basic trend today, mostly sunny, and then isolated thunder showers for the southern part of the viewing area for the afternoon and evening. Absolutely gorgeous. Man, everything's turning green. It won't be long. Those trees are going to be full of leaves.
Yep.
And then we'll dump some snow on it probably. Daytime highs back into the. It happens.
I know.
A lot of times we'll see that snow in June. That one's a little rough. We'll talk more about what you can expect, including a bit of a cool down. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:31, our top story this half hour. Voters in Belgrade have some big decisions to make before 8 o'clock tonight when the polls close, including whether or not they want a new aquatic center, along with various other types of recreation, like new parks and walking trails.
Yeah, and this is all at the tune of $49 million. As MTN's Jolie Salee reports, not everyone is in favor.
For years, folks in Belgrade have had to travel into Bozeman to take advantage of walking trails and pools. But May 2nd marks them being one step closer to finally receiving some much-needed upgrades of their own right here on this lot of land. I don't like walking around neighborhoods as much. I like to go out in the woods or something with more like trails. Cherry Creek is one I go to a lot, but something a lot closer than that would be really nice, yeah.
Solana Stancliffe and her son are out soaking up the beautiful weather at Lewis and Clark Park, a hub for Belgrade families in the summertime.
I go to this park quite a lot, and then a lot of the ponds around here.
But one thing Stancliffe wishes Belgrade had?
I would love an indoor pool.
According to the president of the Belgrade Aquatic Center Group, Jesse McLeod, in the last 25 years they're now closer than they've ever been to finally getting a pool, walking trails, and a regional park on this 80-acre lot of land off Dry Creek Road and Penwell Bridge.
This would be a hub in our community for health and wellness.
That is, if voters approve.
You know, at what point do we say there's enough growth?
As I interviewed McLeod, a Belgrade man named Costas stopped to voice his concerns.
You're creating more burden on people's pocketbooks every time you decide you want some giant thing here or there. I'm an old man.
Yes.
I can't be buying your kids' roller skates.
He's proof that not everyone is in favor of the $49 million bond vote. But even so,
We really need people to vote. We get the chance right now to decide what our community is going to look like 50 years from now.
Belgrade residents have until 8 p.m. on May 2nd to turn in ballots. Stancliffe says she fully supports the bond and can't wait to have a pool in her community.
I'm a sucker for water slides. I love water slides. They're pretty fun.
In Belgrade, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
Again, polls close at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have more coming up at 10 o'clock. In other election news this morning, the Bozeman Elementary and High School districts requesting safety levies for this upcoming election. Purpose running these safety levies to find a dedicated revenue source for the safety-related cost, which includes school resource officers and counselors. The objective to take the SROs and counselors out of the general fund and tie them to these new safety levies, which would free up some breathing room in the general fund budget to keep more certified teaching staff.
And these levies are being proposed so that the district can minimize the number of teaching reductions that they have to make. And if these levies do not pass, the SROs and counselors will remain in the general fund, but around 33 teachers will be eliminated instead of about 20.
Again, polls close at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have complete coverage coming up at 10 as results come in. In other headlines this morning, the problems surrounding the mental health care system in Montana are complex. Huge issues continue to plague the state's only psychiatric hospital in Warm Springs, a facility that's underfunded and short-staffed.
Yeah, in August of 2021, 5 patients died in the care of the state. And this morning, MTN's Andrea Lutz tells us the sister of one of them is preparing to bring a claim for malpractice.
A free spirit, outgoing.
Yeah, he had a good sense of humor.
You can't find a bigger fan of Lou DiMauro than his sister, Nina.
Well, my brother and I were close in age, and we've been best friends, as best as a brother and sister could be. He loved to play pool.
Nina says Lou was always looking out for her.
He loved me, even though he was younger. He was like the big brother, you know. There's that picture.
Now it's Nina's turn to look out for Lou. And her fight means finding justice for his death.
Change in medicine.
Nina kept a journal of more than 80 pages detailing the grueling days Lou stayed at the state hospital in Warm Springs. Turns out that journal would come in handy. Lou was one of a handful of patients kept at what's known as the Spratt unit at the state hospital who died during a single month after investigators found massive flaws in care. That report led to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to terminate funding.
We've heard at this point an unending stream of complaints about abuse and neglect, avoidable falls, people not receiving their medication.
Former Montana State Representative Danny Tenenbaum saw firsthand the conditions at the Spratt unit.
The residents of Spratt didn't commit any crimes. These are just people living with dementia who couldn't get into proper memory care.
And that's exactly what Nina says happened to Lou.
It just changed.
Nina says it changed after Lou's fall in 2012, down a staircase leading to his basement apartment.
It changed his personality. And just the way he perceived himself.
After a stay in Lewistown and a Billings group home, Lou arrived at Warm Springs.
It was from that point on that things started to deteriorate.
Nina says her brother was heavily medicated and her calls to him rarely connected.
He couldn't hold his head up. He couldn't move his arms. He couldn't hold a glass of water. He could a cup of water. He could at least have water. It was terribly, terribly upsetting.
She says her concerns about her brother's care were dismissed. And then in August,
it was awful.
He died. The investigation into the Spratt unit revealed Lou fell some 15 times.
It's a really scary situation.
Something Nina never even knew about until he was gone.
It's unacceptable for Montana to be treating its elderly population in this way.
I wanted people to know that my brother was a really good person who was going through a hard time.
The thing about Lou is he loved dogs, he loved to play pool, and he loved family. And now Nina fights to keep that part of him alive.
If there are other people like that, and I believe there are, he's not the only one.
All right, 6:38 in other news this morning. The U.S. saw a 4% increase in the suicide rate in 2021.
Yeah, the new suicide prevention hotline is offering an innovative way to help those in need. Scripps News correspondent Kat Sandoval shows us how.
3 numbers, 988. It's the free 24/7 suicide and crisis prevention hotline.
Yeah, okay. What area do you live in? We're trying to give them whatever we can to get them, what they need to point them at least in the right direction on where they need to go.
Since its launch nearly a year ago, the 988 mental health and suicide prevention line received more than 2 million calls and texts. The old line is a little bit clunky and hard to remember, but 988 is easier, just like 911.
It is a life-saving. It has changed the landmark. It's completely changed access. Everybody can remember 3 numbers.
It's not specific to just suicide crises anymore. It also includes mental health and substance use crises. So this is really expanding a broader expanding broader access of care.
The CDC says in 2020, nearly 46,000 people died by suicide. That's one death every 11 minutes, and experts are hoping open lines like this can help.
Around this time, I had a friend to commit suicide. I'm sorry. I get emotional when I tell this story. Still looking for closure, still wondering why. How did I not know? Why didn't she call?
Suicide affects not just the individual, but their families and communities. 4 years ago, Connor Eyre lost his big brother to suicide.
It tears a piece of your heart away. It leaves a hole there that can't be filled, because it is a human life that we have lost.
Suicide is the 12th leading cause of death for Americans, and it affects all age groups. In Milwaukee, school counselors have seen an alarming trend in children.
What we're seeing, I think, that is the most concerning is younger kids that are actually harming themselves. And research shows the risk between, kids who engage in self-harm behavior having, an increased risk of suicide later on in their life.
Unlike the previous 800 number, 988 users can also text 988 for support. Experts say that could broaden access for younger populations.
There may be times when they are in situations where not only do they not want to reach out via phone, but they may not be able to. Sometimes a student may be in crisis at school and they need to reach somebody via text.
Missouri's Department of Health partnered with schools and youth organizations to get the word out.
So I have a message for anyone out there who might feel like you need help and you've got nowhere left to turn. You're not alone. It's not too late. Dial 988.
Despite its success so far, long-term funding for the 988 line may be in jeopardy in some states. The federal government mandated the helpline, investing millions of dollars. But just like 911, states are responsible for operations and funding.
Thank you for calling Grassroots. This is James. How may I help you?
The National Alliance on Mental Illness says 29 states have passed legislation to fund any of the core crisis services. Those services include call centers, mobile crisis teams, and community-based treatment centers. Kat Sandoval, Scripps News, Chicago.